I'm not ashamed to own my Lord, nor to defend his cause. Maintain the honors of his word, the glory of his cross.
Hello, I'm James Brown, and on behalf of the East End Church of Christ located in Toronto, Canada, I'd like to welcome you to Monday's edition of Walking Through the Bible, a podcast where we seek to study the Bible and the Bible alone. Please stick around afterwards for information on how you can contact us. But for now, if you have a Bible with you, please go to the book of Genesis, and we'll turn you over to Jeremy Dieselkamp for our study of the day.
Thank you, James, and welcome to all of our viewers. This is the 60th lesson in our study of Genesis. On Saturday, we covered Genesis chapter 18, verses 16 to 21, discussing God's debate with himself on whether or not to reveal his plans for Sodom and Gomorrah to Abraham. If you missed that episode and would like to watch it, you can find it and all of our other podcasts on our website at www.eastendchurch.org. You can also find them on our YouTube channel at www.youtube.com/EastEndChurchOfChrist under the Walking Through the Bible Genesis playlist. Today we're going to begin with Genesis chapter 18, verse 22, and read through verse 33. The text that you'll see on the screen is from the English Standard Version, but you're welcome to follow along with any version that you have. So let's now read Genesis chapter 18, beginning at verse 22. So the men turned from there and went towards Sodom, but Abraham still stood before the Lord. Then Abraham drew near and said, "Will you indeed sweep away the righteous with the wicked? Suppose there are 50 righteous within the city. Will you then sweep away the place and not spare it for the 50 righteous who are in it? Far be it from you to do such a thing, to put the righteous to death with the wicked, so that the righteous fare as the wicked. Far be that from you. Shall not the judge of all the earth do what is just?" And the Lord said, "If I find at Sodom 50 righteous in the city, I will spare the whole city for their sake." Abraham answered and said, "Behold, I have undertaken to speak to the Lord, I who am but dust and ashes. Suppose 5 of the 50 righteous are lacking. Will you destroy the whole city for a lack of 5? And he said, "I will not destroy it if I find 45 there." Again he spoke to him and said, "Suppose 40 are found there." He answered, "For the sake of 40 I will not do it." Then he said, "Oh, let not the Lord be angry, and I will speak. Suppose 30 are found there." He answered, "I will not do it if I find 30 there." He said, "Behold, I have undertaken to speak to the Lord. Suppose 20 are found there." He answered, "For the sake of 20, I will not destroy it." Then he said, "Oh, let not the Lord be angry, and I will speak again but this once. Suppose 10 are found there." He answered, "For the sake of 10, I will not destroy it." And the Lord went his way when he had finished speaking to Abraham, and Abraham returned to his place. As I said in Saturday's episode, chapter 18 of Genesis contains 3 amazing stories. To think that God would even come down to earth, take our form, and converse with us is just amazing to me. That Jesus, being God, did so for 33 years and that he allowed himself to die on the cross for our sins is simply amazing to me and shows his wondrous love that he has for each and every one of us. Verse 22 starts by telling us that the other 2 men who were with God, angels according to chapter 19 verse 1, went down towards Sodom while Abraham remained talking with the 3rd man who was God. In Saturday's episode, God was debating with himself as to whether he would reveal to Abraham what he was planning to do to Sodom. He ultimately decided to do so because Abraham was going to be a great nation, because through Abraham's seed all the nations would be blessed, and because Abraham would teach his children to follow after God. Upon hearing what God intended to do, Abraham asked God a rhetorical question, "Will you destroy the righteous with the wicked?" He then asks, "Will not the judge of all the earth do what is just?" Abraham was not accusing God of evil, but simply stating a fact. God's judgment will always be just, and the righteous are never guilty of the sins of the unrighteous, nor will they suffer the spiritual punishment for the sins of the unrighteous. Now, this doesn't mean that righteous people won't suffer some consequences on this earth for the sins of the guilty, but they won't pay the spiritual price for the sins of the guilty. What God was going to do here was to punish Sodom and Gomorrah for sin. He was going to punish wicked people for that, not righteous people. With Abraham knowing that God would do right, Abraham began negotiating with God for the people of Sodom. He asked, and God agreed that if God found 50 righteous souls in the city, then the city would be spared. Notice Abraham left the counting to God, for God was the ultimate judge. Abraham knew that city, so he probably wasn't comfortable with the number being as high as 50. So he asked again, and God agreed not to destroy the city if there were 45 righteous people living there. This went on 4 more times until Abraham got God to agree not to destroy the city if 10 righteous were found there. Abraham most likely thought this was a safe number, for remember, Lot's family was there. But will there be found 10 righteous in the city? We'll find that out in chapter 19. With that, our time is up for today. Please join us, the Lord willing, tomorrow when we will continue our study of Genesis, beginning with Genesis 19, verse 1.
Thank you, Jeremy. And to our viewers, we also thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel by clicking on the subscribe button below. Should you have any questions or comments, please leave a comment below or email us at answerintheword@gmail.com. We'll try to respond to you as quickly as we can. We hope you'll join us, the Lord willing, tomorrow when we'll be continuing our study of the book of Genesis. Goodbye for now and have a great day.
I'm not ashamed to own my Lord, nor to